Luigi!
There's nobody home.
Come on, man, it's been over half a year. Talk to me.
Oh, I don't want to talk about it. It's very personal.
Fine. Have it your way.
It really is a beautiful day outside.
Did you just kick down my door?
The door's the last of your problems. Tell me what's going on.
I already told you. It's very personal and I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, thanks. Got that far.
I can't record anything unless I have everything ready, and I don't, okay?
You've been gone for half a year. There has to be a reason why you didn't want to do anything. That's why I'm here.
Fine. I lost my hat.
Wait, what? So you're meaning to tell me that the reason you've been gone all this time is because you lost your hat?
You don't understand. If I don't have my hat, I don't feel complete when I record things.
Oh, all those rumors I heard about you getting kidnapped by an evil connect in your house? That would have seemed more believable than this, don't you think?
No, that would be a mercy compared to not having my hat.
Okay, you know what? Fine. Here. Voila. Found your hat.
Wait, you're serious?
Here.
Huh? Oh my god. It is my hat. I thought I lost this thing.
Now, is there anything else keeping you from making videos, or am I just wasting my time here?
Let's just see. Oh, my old computer broke, so I have nothing to edit my videos with.
That's actually a very legitimate reason to not make videos. I'll be right back. So, everything's set up, and I gotta say, that computer is really good. You might want to consider doing some PC gaming or PC game reviews sometime in the future, but then again, that's just me. But yeah, besides that, everything's set up.
Oh, well, thank you for everything.
No problem. Hey, I was wanting to ask, did you do something with your mustache?
Oh, yes. Apparently when I don't trim my mustache for half a year, it starts to grow and develop my face. But don't worry, I'll get it trimmed.
If you say so. So, do you think you'll get back into doing those reviews?
After a traumatizing experience like mine? Sure, why not?
Oh my god, Luigi, it's just your
Hey,
hat!
this hat is very special to me, okay? You don't throw away treasured items that you own.
That's crazy! You can always make a new one!
It wouldn't be the same. That's as if I started dating Princess Peach.
Okay,
Let's just forget I said anything.
yeah, let's just... yeah. Whew. That was awkward. So...
Okay. I'll do it. I've been meaning to get back into it anyway. Have some extra work to do.
Besides your plumber work, anyway.
Oh, sure. That's original. What? You make a living blackmailing people every day?
Wait!
What?
Wait! Are we on the same screen right now?
Apparently so.
That is really cool.
It's a very
That is
interesting.
really cool. Man.
Well, I guess I better get us started on this next review. It should have been a voting one last time, if I remember correctly. I just need to find out what everybody voted for, and
There's no need for that. I've been keeping track of your reviews ever since you left. I have the next game for you right now. Let's see... Here. This is the game you left off on. Super Mario Sunshine.
Huh? Super Mario Sunshine for the Nintendo GameCube. What kind of a game is this? I don't remember this.
Yeah, you never played it?
No, it's not based off an experience that I remember with my brother. 2002. That was the same year I rescued my brother from the mansion. He said he had to take care of something very important before he could repay me. Yeah, it was something serious too. He had to bring the princess in tow to it. It must have been very serious.
Oh. Well, I'm sure it's an enjoyable game. I'm just gonna go.
Wait, where are you going?
Oh, no, there's nothing wrong. It's just, I'm in a hurry. I gotta be somewhere real quick. So, enjoy the game. I'll try not to break down your door next time.
But... gone again. Well, I guess I better get this started and get back into the swing of things. Let's go put this in and find out.
So before anybody says anything, yes, I know I've been gone a long time. I will talk about that after the review is done, just so I can get that out of the way. So, what can be said about Super Mario Sunshine?
Okay, so from what I've gathered so far, back in 2002, my brother wanted to go on an island vacation. He didn't want to invite me, and he sure didn't want to tell anybody that I saved him, so they called it a business vacation. It's good to see that brotherly trust with him and me is still alive and well. Okay, but for the actual game...
Super Mario Sunshine is considered by many to be a spiritual successor to Super Mario 64. It was also the first Super Mario title to be released on the Nintendo GameCube. Featuring cel-shaded graphics, a brand new story, and a new feature in the game that Mario uses called the Flood Nozzle, it was starting to look like the game was going to be pretty good. Upon its release in North America on August 26, 2002, the game itself was pretty well received. It sold over 5.5 million copies, and was one of the best-selling games on the Nintendo GameCube. It sounds like a pretty fun game. There are a few things people complained about that made the game not perfect, but I suppose I'm going to find out what they are anyway. Now, I know I haven't exactly done this in a long time, but I will still be doing this the way I did it before I left. I will focus briefly on this game's story, because I heard it's not really that important. I will focus a bit on the soundtrack, however, because the soundtrack in the Super Mario title is often memorable, so I want to see how this compares to, say, Super Mario 64. And finally, I want to focus primarily on the gameplay. The gameplay in the Super Mario title is often the most important one, and I want to see if this game took anything from Super Mario 64 and worked upon it. And finally, there will be spoilers in this video, so if you don't feel like being spoiled, feel free to leave at any time.
Well, I've already been waiting. I might as well get started.
Let's get this out of the way. I'm envious. The game looks fantastic, and it's a very good representation, I suppose, of what my brother went through, even though I didn't get to see it, but the game itself, again, is quite well done. It takes a lot of themes from Super Mario 64 and works upon them and makes them into something new and something different at the same time. And I suppose that's really what it comes down to. Now, that's not to say that the game is perfect, because it really isn't. There are a couple of flaws keeping it from truly shining. Not enough to make the game seem bad, but quite noticeable. One of the biggest flaws actually is the first thing I'm going to talk about. The game's story, if you even want to call it that. I'll be brief. Mario and everybody want to go on an island vacation. They arrive on said island and things aren't quite as they planned. Apparently there is some paint-like goop spread throughout the entire island by a person that looks like my brother. Naturally, the police incarcerate Mario thinking he's the criminal. Serves you right, you selfish jerk. I probably could have bailed you out of there. And Mario's punishment is to clean up the entire island and collect items known as Shine Sprite, which in the game is kind of like collecting stars in Super Mario 64, but for the purpose of the story, it powers up the sun? I don't know. I don't think the story in this game is very strong, but I don't think that's the main purpose. People play this game to relax and enjoy some sort of island adventure even if they're not there. Plus, the Shine Sprite collecting is probably one of the driving forces. But I'll get to that in just a moment. After collecting some shine sprites and cleaning up a little bit of the island, eventually Peach gets kidnapped once again. Mario goes to rescue her at an amusement park and finds out that she's been kidnapped by Bowser Jr. and has been impersonating him this entire time. This would be the first time Bowser Jr. showed up in the Super Mario universe, and he would show up again in future games. Minus him talking, of course, because let's face it, the voice acting in this game is horrendous. After that moment, the story itself kinda disappears. You don't get any mention of it ever again, and you're basically focused on collecting all the shine sprites instead. And I might as well talk about them while I'm here. To start with, there are 120 shine sprites just to complete the game 100%. However, if you just want to beat the story, you only need to collect 50. Now I know what you're thinking here. Why would I want to collect 120 shine sprites? I thought the purpose was just to save Peach. And that can be true. But if you were the kind of person who played Super Mario 64, you wanted to gather every star, whether they were hidden or not. Part of the thrill of finding all the stars was to see what you unlocked after collecting them all. And granted, what you got at the end of Super Mario 64 may not be exciting for some, but it's always the journey of getting it. You want to see if there's anything there. And most people thought Super Mario Sunshine would have something better than a cameo from a very popular character, who also happens to be in this game. Back to the point at hand though. If you take the required amount of shine sprites it takes to complete the game 100%, and then subtract it by what's required to beat the game, you realize that you still have 70 shine sprites to collect. That's a lot of collecting. And if you go back once again to how many shine sprites you need to beat the story, you realize that aren't a lot of shine sprites to begin with. Probably because there's only 7 levels in this game, compared to the 15 levels there were in Super Mario 64. There's 8 from the episodes you can do, 1 for collecting 100 coins, and 2 of them are secrets. But wait, there's more! There's also the secret shine sprites you have to find around Isle Delfino. Some of them are pretty simple, and some of them are mind-frustratingly hard. I'm just gonna get this out of the way. I don't like this poison river, and I certainly do not like this pachinko machine. This one is stupid. I lost all my lives to it, and it's not fun. But that's not even the worst part. If you take all the side sprites you get from the episodes and the secret ones around Isle Delfino, you'll come to 96 shine sprites. That's still 24 missing. Where do you get those 24? 2 words. Blue coins. These things serve a different purpose than they were in Super Mario 64. Think of them in this game as a currency. For every 10 blue coins you get, you can take it to these 2 here. And what do they give you in return? Shine sprites. Why those 2 idiot officers in the beginning of the game don't go and arrest them for, stealing the power source to their island, I don't even know. But if you do the math once more, you'll realize that for every 10 you get a shine sprite. There are 24 shine sprites still missing. That means there are 240 blue coins to find just to complete the game. And believe me, these things are everywhere. It's at this point that I just stopped playing the game. I wasn't going to go looking around for all those blue coins, and I certainly didn't want to spoil myself by looking them up, so I just gave up on it. I think I had around 98 shine sprites by the end of the game, and I was just done after that. However, I made the mistake of looking up what you get when you complete the game. And honestly, I felt bad for everybody who did. Picture this. Picture you decided to go for all those blue coins. All you want is to have something that tells you that you did a good job. That Nintendo would at least pat you on the back and reward you for that, even if it's something simple like a cameo or whatever. Instead, you are given this.
You get a postcard. A postcard? Even Super Mario 64 had a better reward, and that wasn't too good. Super Mario Galaxy had a great reward because you got to play as me. So why couldn't they just do it like that before Super Mario Galaxy? I just don't know.
Despite that, the story itself is fine. If you're just going to collect all the shine sprites to complete the story, plus a few extra ones, that's fine. You'll have a lot of fun doing it. You might even think the story is good despite its shortcomings, but don't go collecting all 120 shine sprites. It's just not worth it. Okay, now with that rant that everybody says about this game done, let's focus on the gameplay and see what it brings.
The gameplay itself feels a lot like Super Mario 64.
For controls, my brother Mario is actually moving quite well. He's moving very fluidly, and there's not a lot of times when I die due to bad platforming.
In fact, I think that's one of the main reasons why everybody likes Super Mario Sunshine. The gameplay itself is simple enough to pick up and play for newer players, and for those who played Super Mario 64, there's enough to keep them entertained. And even for people who have not touched a Super Mario title will find enjoyment out of this. Mario is very responsive in his movements, he's got the variety of jumps that he's gained or learned from Super Mario 64, and it's ultimately a nice throwback. And even though Yoshi feels good in this game, he's still agile as he was before. If anything, the only thing I don't understand is him spitting acidic juices from his stomach. He's never done that before. The boss fights in this game are few and far in between, and personally I wish there was more, but they're simple enough and fun. But the biggest gameplay change compared to Super Mario 64 is obviously Mario's use of the flood nozzle. Indeed, along with Mario's natural abilities, he also has the use of the flood nozzle in this game to either take out enemies or use it to reach new places. There are a total of 4 different nozzles to use. The squirt nozzle is used to squirt enemies and solve puzzles. The hover nozzle allows Mario to float in the air for a short time. The rocket nozzle, which is unlocked later in the story, allows Mario to soar straight up into the air. And the turbo nozzle, which is also unlocked later, allows Mario to speed across at high speeds either on land or in the water. All of the nozzles serve their own purpose and they're all very good, but you'll notice that you'll be using the squirt and hover nozzle more often than the rocket or turbo nozzles, mainly because they're needed for more of the puzzles. In fact, I think the only main negative thing I can think about the gameplay is the camera. It still has a bit of problems even after Super Mario 64. Now, on one hand, it's a little bit better because you can actually see where you are from behind a wall or an object that you can't see Mario behind, so you're not totally blind about where you are. But on the other hand, you still can't see what you're walking on or what's in front of you. In enclosed spaces, this is actually very helpful, but in other areas, it's mainly not. And now for the final portion, and always my quickest one for obvious reasons, the game's soundtrack. Super Mario Sunshine's soundtrack is quite nice. It's nothing too special, but it does a good job at keeping the mood of the island theme that the game is going for. Despite tunes like Delfino Plaza, which has got to be the most memorable, levels like Rico Harbor, Noki Bay, or Bianta Village also have nice tunes too. The boss battle themes are okay, they do play them a bit too much, and I wish there was a bit more variety. And the theme that plays during those special levels where Mario doesn't have FLUDD are pretty nostalgic. I will not deny that. So all in all, the soundtrack isn't perfect, but it definitely has tunes that fit the levels well. It makes you feel like you're actually there in a way.
It truly makes the game feel like a Mario game. And I guess I had fun playing through it, even though I wish I could have been there. I mean, I could have helped my brother, you know, but he has to get all the attention to himself. The point is, Super Mario Sunshine was a very enjoyable game, and I think it's about time I review it. So let's get started on that, shall we? Super Mario Sunshine. I think what the game brings to the table is a very nice touch for the Mario universe. In fact, if you have a GameCube or a Wii, you should also pick this one up. All that aside, the game had good and bad things. Let's start with the good. I'll start by saying that the game's graphics are very appealing. Granted, at times I had to strain my eyes a bit. I don't find it a bad thing, but if you don't like bright and colorful games, this might not be a good thing to you. However, I think it fit the game's atmosphere. From the sun-soaked beaches to the amusement park, or even to the hotel, I really enjoyed it. That colorful atmosphere helps bring out how beautiful the game looks. If I had to be on a tropical island, I'd want to be on that one. This next thing I'm glad they got right. The controls are smooth. All of the jumps and movements in the game were extremely responsive with their buttons. I actually didn't have any moments where it paused or anything, so that's a good plus. The level design was also great. You have to go to the same level 7 times. That normally means things can get a little boring if they were the exact same. Thankfully, they're not. It pleases me to know that Nintendo put time into making these levels stand out amongst the others. Whether you're enjoying yourself on the sun-soaked beach, inside the hotel, at the amusement park, it's all good fun, and the levels themselves help drive that home. FLUDD himself, or itself, is also very handy. Nintendo kept his abilities short and simple, and I think that helped out quite a lot.
Granted, you will find yourself using the hover nozzle a lot more than the rocket or the turbo, but they all serve their purposes perfectly. They don't have an overabundance of these locations, so I wish they could have been used a little bit more, or maybe even let you have to switch between them at certain parts, like, you know, you use the rocket and then you have to use the turbo after you land with the rocket. Something like that. But what they have already is nice. I will also say that Flood was extremely responsive. Speaking of which, I have to go talk to Egad about that. And this one's probably a personal pleasure. I did like seeing Yoshi in the game. I wish there was a bit more interaction though. This won't affect the score too much, it's really just what I like. Speaking of which, I wonder why they had him spitting his acidic juices everywhere.
Wow!
Now I know it was obvious if you remember my rant from earlier, but there are some bad things for Super Mario Sunshine. Let's get the obvious out of the way, shall we? The Shine Sprite Hunt is not worth it. I know it's subjective when I say this, but when you're playing a Super Mario game, you have the temptation to collect everything. You could say, oh, you really just need to play and beat the game, but a lot of players like to collect all of the stars, or Shine Sprites in this case. And to reward all your efforts for collecting 120 Shine Sprites with a postcard is unacceptable. Something as simple as giving you 99 lives with the postcard probably could have fixed this. I don't know why they just didn't do that instead. I want to point out that the camera itself is not very helpful. Now don't get me wrong, being able to see where I was on the opposite side of a wall definitely helped in a few moments. However, still not being able to see where I was, which way I was stepping, which way was in front of me, or what enemies were there, what these question marks were, I guess I just didn't like having the ability to see it. I didn't want to have to hit the Y button and go into behind the shoulder mode just to see what was in front of me. And I'll end with something completely obvious. This game's voice acting is pretty terrible. Thankfully, there's not too many moments where there are cutscenes, but when there are, they're cringeworthy. But, despite the flaws, there was something enjoyable about Super Mario Sunshine, even if I didn't get invited to it. I'm still not happy with that, by the way. But what the game brings to the table is very fresh. For a GameCube title, it's definitely worth picking up if you want to have a lot of fun. But for the upteenth time, I beg you to not search for all the Shine Sprites. You'll have a better time if you don't. What the game brings to the table is very fun, and I think that's what mattered most. Super Mario Sunshine gets a 7 out of 10. If it wasn't for the stupidly hard challenge levels and the Shine Sprite hunting and the terrible camera, this probably would have gotten an 8 or a 9. It's not a bad game though. And now I have a few things to talk about. First things first. This mustache is not going to get trimmed anytime soon. I tried shaving it, it broke all my razors. It's not getting shaved. It's almost as if it doesn't want to get shaved, and that is scaring me. In other news, this is my new computer. I have to say, whoever he was did a pretty good job on it. It's very nice, it runs pretty smoothly. I already have a plan to put PC games along with the console games like I normally do, so expect that in the future, but I won't be putting PC as a top priority despite how many good games it has. I'll try to keep it mixed up, basically. Now, I said I have some important things to talk about besides my mustache outgrowing my face. Believe me, if you liked seeing my mouth when I talked, you might not see it very much anymore. First off, fun fact, that footage of me that you saw throughout this video was actually from November. I had the plans to put this out before Christmas, but as you could tell now, that didn't work out so well. So I wanted to get it out of the way and apologize for having this take over half a year to come out. It's nobody else's fault but my own, and I wish I could take it back and maybe fix some things, maybe be prepared in case my old laptop broke. Yes, I recorded everything and put it on a laptop. What could possibly go wrong? I'd like to take this time to thank and apologize to everybody who has waited for this. And now that I'm back, I'm pretty sure I'll be uploading things on a regular basis, provided that I don't get distracted by all the PC games I have to play. Secondly, there's going to be a few changes going on this channel. The first thing I'm going to do is stop doing Let's Plays. It was a stupid idea. I don't know why I did it. I mean,
I made this channel purposely for the reviews. I made this channel to basically be a hobby until Nintendo calls me back for another game. I don't want to join that crowd. There's nothing wrong with it, it's just not me. I don't like that kind of attention. So Let's Plays are out. I won't be doing alternative things, like I won't be doing any more forced reviews. Gosh, the Aliens Colonial Marines ones was terrible, both in design of the game, the production of the review, and just the fact of why would I want to play that? I don't know why I chose that for a Luigi's choice. Now, I didn't mind Ni no Kuni. That's probably what I should have just done, but instead I forced myself to play a bad game. So I'm not going to be forcing myself to do anything like that anymore. I want to focus a little bit more on my editing in these next videos and see if I can improve. I might keep some of my old ways because I just can't get rid of those. I'm too comfortable with it. But I'm going to try to stray into uncharted waters and actually do other things. Maybe add better special effects because everybody knows I need it. And overall, just try to avoid really dumb editing mistakes. Like, did you know I made a few mistakes on my Legend of Spyro review? Going to be for free. The next two video, right there. I'm going to look at this video and I'm going to cringe every time I see that mistake. And it's going to kill me inside, every time. I'm also going to try to involve some older games inside my reviews because I do a lot of newer ones or slightly newer ones, and I'm okay with doing those. I have a plan for my next Luigi's Choice, which is enforced, that I might be interested in doing, and it's still relatively new. But I've noticed a lot of people like older games, and I've always wanted to try my hand at some of them, so I'm going to try to get into the habit of reviewing those, or at least putting them on my list for future reviews. And finally, I'd like to take this time to thank everybody for making my first year on YouTube a very memorable one. I walked into this with that Star Fox review, clocking in at over 40 minutes long, not knowing what to expect or even what to do. I'd like to thank everybody who has helped me build up to where I am now. It's not a very big, but again, it's a hobby. It's for fun. I don't plan on getting popular, even though I am in video games. I would like to thank some of my close friends for giving me ideas on how to edit and helping me set up everything. I'd like to thank some of the people who have helped advertise this channel. And before I continue on that, I won't be making any more Minecraft videos. I want to be taking down the Minecraft video itself. I owe it to the friend I played it with to keep it on there, but I won't be uploading any more of those. Speaking of which, I'm also going to get rid of those Let's Play videos. I don't want to see those ever again. I'd also like to thank the people who have critiqued on my reviews to make me get better at it. I would like to thank Family Jewel 7X for allowing me to use his theme for the first year. I did change it in this one, and I plan to keep it changed for a while, but who knows, maybe I'll go back to it one day. He's also a very good musician. You should probably go check him out. And finally, I'd like to thank everybody I didn't mention. Kind of lazy, I know, but without you guys, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. Half a year behind on making another video. So without further ado, before I end this review, let's talk about what 3 games are going to be for the next review. I may have been gone that long, but I didn't forget I gave 2 for free. Spyro was for free, and Sunshine was the first one. So this next one will be up to you guys. For the next 3 games, should I review Pikmin, Sonic Adventure, or, since I got the PC and I might as well put something up there, Half-Life 2. Leave a comment or a message telling me what game you want me to review, and I will get right on it after a week. So, for the first time in a very long time, I'm a Luigi. And this has been a Luigi review. Now, I got this PC. Let's just see what it can do. Let's see, what game do I want to play? Steam sure has a lot of games. Ooh, Team Fortress 2. Okay, let's try it. Oh no. No. This isn't what I expected, no. Stop!
I can't keep up. No. No.
Hey, bruh. Hey, bruh. Look at me, bruh.
Oh no. What have I done? Oh no!